week is upon us. It is time for the Universal Order Show, episode 7, where we meet Zenurie. Now, before I bring her out, I would like for all of you to take a moment to go gather your barf bags because we will be talking about a druid. And I do not want any of you to go to the hospital, so consider this your warning. This person is very talented, illustrious history behind her. Really hope you enjoy the stories that she has to tell, and hope you enjoy learning more about her. So, without further ado, please allow me to welcome to the Universal Order Show, Zenurie.
Hi, you're on a druid, Joey.
I did that just for you, as much as I'll need 5 showers afterwards, and because you are a professional, I decided, I don't know if you can see it, to wear one of
Oh my
these for you.
god.
Do I look the part?
I I mean, the shirt kind of clashes with it, dude.
That's the point.
Wait, no, what does the shirt say? Have you seen my monkey? Oh my god. It would be better if it was have you seen my baboon?
So, uh, Zenori here
Oh
is.
my god, just say Jen.
Oh,
We've been on a
oh,
first name basis for forever.
Jen here has a lot going for her. She has very storied history with the guild. She is a journalist, a dog walker, a healer, a lover of all things, of the arts, of music, so many things, so many topics. Hope we have time for it all. But, as always, one must start at the beginning. So, similar to our previous guest, I must ask, what did you do with the money from selling your webcam?
Sorry.
Well, our last guest was Argonaut, and he sold his camera for money to buy Gargora merchandise. So I was just curious what you did with yours.
I mean, I wish I could sell my webcam for something. That'd be nice. I'd probably sell it to like buy a vacation somewhere.
Oh, okay.
Great. But no, it's let's just say it's not functioning today, Joey.
Okay, let's go with that. And
Mhm. Mhm. Mhm.
with that out of the way, we start at the beginning. Now, currently, you are playing a druid named Zenori and a
Mhm.
priest named Quintessa. However, to the best of my knowledge, you were first here in Miss Pandaria, along with your husband, as a monk. What was her name and where did it come from?
Oh, Hoi. So, Hoi actually means ocean. And the hubby and I decided to switch to monk at the time because monks were amazing then. And he was the tank and I was the healer. But I think aside from my monk and my priest, my druid has been my main for the entirety of most of my WoW career.
Okay.
I do miss my monk though.
What about the other two? Where does Zenuri and Quintessa come from?
So, Quintessa is actually a play on the name Gwen. Um, and I wanted it to be kind of a play because I was struggling to find a name for her. I never intended for her to be like one of the characters that I swap with to heal, but it just eventually happened. My druid actually used to be named Skyflames, and I decided to change the name because I decided to keep Zen as my online alias name.
Okay. All right. Now, how long Have you been playing since before I knew you in Miss Pandaria? And if so, what was your experiences like?
Does the old man not remember when we met, like officially in the game?
I remember, like I said, I remember your monks from uh, Miss Pandaria.
You really don't
Bef-
remember
no, I don't.
further than that.
Please enlighten me, because I do not recall.
Oh my god. And Alex, Joey's wearing a tie because he's trying to look professional.
Yes, I'm talking to a professional journalist, so I had to look the part. I wanted to clean up the image a little bit for her.
That's great. Okay, Joey, let me refresh your old man memory. We met in Burning Crusade
Okay.
during Max.
But
You
next Ramus
needed.
was Wrath of Lich King.
Oh, sorry, Wrath of Lich King. Why did I say Burning Crusade? Okay, yeah, shut up. We met during Wrath of the Lich King, and
Okay.
you were needing like healers and stuff for your raids, and I would come in on my druid, and I think at one point maybe I went with you guys in Oldawar.
Okay. Who were you
Um,
playing then?
I was playing my druid at the time. That was she was named Skyflames.
Sky Flames. Thank you very much for the reminder of that. Yes, you are correct. It was
Yeah.
before Miss Veneria. So
Mm-hmm.
then we might as well backtrack a tiny bit and say, where did Sky Flames come from?
I wanted to name her Sky Song, but apparently there's a lake in Nagrin that's named Sky Song, and someone else had already taken it anyway. So I
Oh,
was
okay.
like, all right, so Sky Flames, yeah. It wasn't very creative, to be honest. It was kind of one of the reasons why I wanted to change her name in the first place because I didn't really have an emotional attachment to it.
Okay. So you were on for a bit. Yes, I do remember Sky Flames. Thank you for the reminder.
You're welcome.
Were there any guilds that you were a part of before Universal Order?
Oh my goodness. Okay, you might remember this guild. Do you
Okay.
remember? Okay, we had our own guild, but I think at one point I joined La Luce de la Noche.
Yes,
You
I
remember
remember
them?
them. Yep.
Oh my
The
god.
leader was Heart something, and then I believe it was like something of the night. Uh, and I remember it was a family that ran the guild, and then once the leader I think had a kid, then they kind of wound down, and no idea where they are now, any of them.
You're pretty much correct about that guild disappearing. It was run by a family, um, but there was so much drama there. Yeah, actually, I think I remember. Yeah, the guild lead would always rant to me about his ex, and oh my goodness, I think I was still in high school at the time.
Okay.
My, how time flies.
It does, as you can see from all the gray.
Yeah, I know. I didn't used to be there when we first met.
Yes, and nice segue there. I have a very interesting story for the viewers, but first, I also want to couple it with an apology. So, I was blessed, or rather, I am blessed anytime I can meet anyone from the guild outside of the game, as it is very important to me to respect and cherish the people behind the screen. Uh, what we're about to get into is a story of how I actually have met this person and many more. However, this is a topic that I actually did want to cover with our guild officer, Medie, as I have also had the pleasure of meeting both her and her fiance. So apologies to them for not mentioning this when it was their interview. So, with that said, uh, Jen here, I have actually had the pleasure of meeting, along with many others. Uh, there was a rogue in the guild named Azio, and his soon-to-be wife at the time, uh, Chable. And so they were going to get married, and they invited many people, obviously their own friends and family, plus people from the guild, to come down to see the wedding. Myself, Zenurie, her husband, and what was the other druid's name? What was their roommate's name? Do you remember?
Oh,
Nancy. So
Nancy
Nancy was also
and
there. She was
Arthenon
living with them. And who?
Brandon. Arthenon.
Oh, yes. There you go. So uh, we all had the pleasure of hanging out down in Florida to see the wedding. One day, the two groups, male and female, broke apart to have a kind of bachelor and bachelorette party before the wedding. So the women all went to the hotel room and don't know what happened there because, well, wrong gender. And if you want to shed light on that, feel free. The men, however, had the extreme displeasure
Uh,
of going to a bar that the groom was very fond of to consume something called a garbage burger.
oh, you
And
remember?
yes, and to any who does not know what that is, first of all, consider yourself lucky.
Oh
Second of
yeah,
all, do not
seriously disgusting.
ever pursue this. And third, it is a mix of everything in the kitchen.
Oh
So
yeah,
you will get a patty along with ice cream, relish, and anything. I can't even.
wasabi.
There's no way
Oh,
wasabi. Yes, there's no way I can list all the ingredients because it's whatever's in the kitchen. The chef just puts together and enjoy. So yeah, let's just say I got just a tiny bit nauseous that night.
I mean, there were also the drinks that went down that night.
Yeah, yeah, but ugh, that was definitely a thing. So
Like, if I dig through my storage, I could probably find a picture of that garbage burger for you.
wow. Oh man, I really want to see that sometime.
Wasn't a great picture, but like you could see all the layers.
Oh man, that'll bring
Hmm.
back memories, and I'll probably have to rush to the toilet afterwards again. So
Yeah, I
afterwards,
cannot believe that's what happened on the
yeah, yeah.
bachelorette party.
And what made it even worse is that we all had one. Like the burger
Uh
was
huh.
big enough that we all could have shared it, even though there was four of us. I think your husband,
4 or 5.
the groom, myself, Arthenon, and maybe there was one more. Try to remember. I just remember four.
I remember 4 as well, but I also remember the waitress saying, "Do you guys really want to order this
Yeah,
burger?"
yeah. Even the chef was like, "They want what? More than one? Okay." So, oh, what a night! And then after that, we had the pleasure of taking a cab home and went to go play either Guitar Hero or no, it was Rock Band because there was more than
Rock
one
band.
instrument. And that's when the drinks were a flowing.
Oh yeah.
And you were there for some reason. And
I came home after the bachelorette party.
right. And that confused me. It was like, why wouldn't you and the others stay with Chabo?
I don't remember why, but I do remember the scene I returned to.
Nothing happened.
Oh no, Joey, you're not getting out of this. You're not getting out of this. You were so drunk.
just a, just a little bit. So
Oh no. You were like laughing hysterically, falling over on the couch because you guys just couldn't. What was it, Bohemian Rhapsody you guys are trying to
yes,
sing?
yes, it was. But there's more to it. Okay, so like I said, the drinks were flowing. We were all wasted and playing Rock Band. Now,
Mm-hmm.
all the guys had this weird idea. I'm just sitting there. I'm gone at that point, and I'm looking at the screen. I've never played any of those instrumental games before, so the concept was foreign to me. So I'm trying to focus in my bewildered state. Not only were they playing Bohemian Rhapsody, Timeless Song, but they decided to sing it in the style of Row, Row, Row Your Boat. And unfortunately, I do not remember. There's an actual term for Row Your Boat, where one person sings a lyric and then the next person sings the next one while somebody else sings the first one. There's an actual term for that. Unfortunately, I can't remember.
Like,
So,
you sang it around?
say again.
Around? Was it around? I can't remember.
I think it's it is around. Okay, well, thank you very much, audience. So, in around, they were singing they were singing Bohemian Rhapsody in the style of around, and
Oh my God,
I do
why?
not understand how, but something triggered in me that I just lost it, and I was laughing hysterically.
Oh yeah,
I
you were
my
just
brain could
down
not
on the ground.
process how they could do that to that song, and it was a wrap for me.
Oh
such a
yeah, it was
such a
great. It
good
was great.
time.
Oh my God.
Shout out.
Do you remember, do you remember since okay, we were staying in an apartment at the time. The
Yes,
hubby and I got the guest room slash office slash library, whatever it was that they had converted.
yes.
And everybody else had like the living room and the dining room. And you chose to sleep under the dining room and you called it your fort.
I slept under the
Your
table.
dining table. Yeah.
It was a two-bedroom apartment with like 10 guests.
Oh yeah.
And obviously, I'm going to leave the couch to the women because, you know,
Oh, you're so nice. You slept on the floor.
it was, I didn't mind at all. It just happened. It was natural and it felt right.
It was great.
Yes,
It was so great.
yes, it was. So, that is a story of how we've met and hung out, timeless,
Oh my
and
gosh. And
hopefully,
also, bachelorette party, mild in comparison. We played Cards Against Humanity, had a few drinks, and that was about
oh,
it. Yeah.
hey, fun is fun.
Oh yeah.
But Azio was a sick man, a sick sense of
No
humor.
kidding. Yeah, no kidding. So sorry you had to go through that, but oh my god, stories.
Yeah, everything we do is for stories.
Mm-hmm.
So speaking
Any
of
other
stories,
questions?
oh yes, we haven't even tapped the list. So in currently in the guild, well, when there's no content and something to do, primarily you play a healer. Thank you for that.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
There have been times where on your druid, Zenurie, you've played feral, and on Hoy you heal Sky Flames, Quintessa. That seems to be your passion. Uh, have you, when you were a part of Leluce, did you also heal for them?
Yeah, that was pretty much all I've done throughout WoW is heal.
Okay. Did you play before Wrath? Like,
Okay,
were
so
you
I joined World of Warcraft towards the tail end of Burning Crusade,
okay?
and I think I did Gruul's Lair, and I think I did one more raid. I think it was like in Hellfire Peninsula, the raid that was there. But I only did
Magtheridon's lair.
yeah, so I did that one once, but it was in high school when I didn't have any money for a good laptop, so most of it was just a memory of lag and rage.
Half the raiders can attest to that. Look
Oh
at
yeah.
Severic. I think every time we pulled, he disconnected and then had to rejoin the fight.
Oh
Every
yeah,
pull.
that's right.
And then there were people who had issues with specific interests, like shout out to another druid that healed for us, Baihe, if anybody remembers her. I think every time we entered the Tempest Keep, she was completely unstable with her connection. And it was just that one zone. No rhyme or reason, but it happens. So, your time in Warcraft with us, at least, has been memorable, illustrious. We thank you for all the time that you have been in and out of the guild. You've taken breaks here and there as your life has gone in, well, life directions as it does for us all.
Yep, and then I
Uh,
always come back and I wonder why are you still doing this?
I'm old and stubborn. But let's take it out of the game for a moment. Uh, Jen here as stated at the beginning, is a dog walker, a journalist. She also has a podcast, a YouTube channel, a Twitch channel. So let's dig right in, starting with the journalism. So hopefully, I'm at least up to some of your standards, maybe by a tiny bit.
Yeah, the shirt needs to go. I definitely would not be wearing something like that if I were conducting an interview.
You're saying I wouldn't be able to interview the mayor like you have in this outfit.
No, no,
Oh,
no,
I'm
no,
trying. Please
definitely
teach me.
not. Uh,
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 uh, yeah, it's okay. So, uh, you have interviewed the mayor of your town.
yes, I
How,
have.
before we get into that, there is one actual serious question I want to ask you. You, as any journalist would do, you have to. The point of the news is to report on the story, and it's supposed to be biased aside. This is the story. You report on it, and that's that. Now, regardless of what, if any, political affiliation you have you ever found a story hard to report on because of a bias that you have?
Not to report on, but like the stories we choose to write about. Um, I will say that my paper or digital publication, since we don't actually have a physical paper, is I guess you would say it leans liberal. My boss makes sure that we have a diverse and inclusive group of writers and editors. We cover a lot of events that focus on the minorities, on the underprivileged, the people that normally get silenced. So that's sort of the thing that we cover. In terms of like stories, not really. Um, the things that I have trouble covering are really sad stories like this woman who's a mother was with her 3-year-old at the time, and someone had deliberately decided to try and kidnap her 3-year-old daughter right in front of her. Um, so that was pretty hard to write about.
Yeah, that's a rough enough story just to hear, let alone
Oh
do
yeah,
something about.
she had to like fight as hard as she could, and she was screaming for help at the time.
Hmm.
So things like that. I've written about. I still live in the town where I grew up in, where I went to high school, where I went to middle school. And I think about 6 months ago, two young teenagers in a car full of four people. They died from a car accident after striking a tree. Um, and apparently they hit it so hard that it split the vehicle in half. And both of the women died. So every time I pass by my high school now, there's this just floods of flowers and memorial stuff on the tree where they both died. So it's personal when it's local.
Yeah, especially since, like you said, you've been there all this time.
Oh yeah, it was my high school that I went to.
Wow, wow. But other than that, uh, have you? Do you think journalism has been a fulfilling part of your life?
Fulfilling, yeah, there are moments where I wish there was more work. The pandemic has definitely made it very difficult. And for a
Understandable.
period of time, oh yeah, and for a period of time, my boss and the other editors, we would talk about like, okay, we need to stop publishing so much stuff about COVID because it's so depressing. Can we find ways to liven up our publishing and our feed and things like that? So We branched out to like food, recipes. We're doing beauty articles now.
Okay.
It's like that. It's fun though. I get to meet very interesting people. I get to interview them. Um, I get merch every now and then because I go to openings. Um, so
Very nice.
yeah, it's interesting. Um, we have a casino that's going to open up hopefully soon in my city, and I'm hoping to be at the grand opening for it.
Well, I hope you enjoy yourself when that happens.
Oh yeah.
When, even though it's a job, and well, you have to do it, do you feel as if being a journalist and you have to talk to people to get information for your story, do you feel that that has boosted or empowered your self confidence and speaking ability since you have to do it?
Boy. So as a journalist, I get the question a lot of like, do you ask the really hard questions? Do you like um pester and really get into the nitty-gritty and controversial topics about certain politicians? My answer to that is yes and no. Um, One thing that people don't think about is making sure that we maintain a good relationship with our sources, which means knowing when not to cross a certain line.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of the time, when I do an interview with somebody, particularly somebody who's running in local politics, I will send them a list of interview questions so that they know and are prepared for the interview. It's not just about investigating, although there is an art to that because if you have a good reputation with the community, then people who I guess are the whistleblowers or people who have information will step up and tell you, hey, this bad thing is going on. Can you investigate this?
Okay. It,
So I
and
don't know if I
again,
answered your question.
that's good. And again, it all wraps up to the part of you being there all this time. You get to know people. So hopefully
Oh, I
that
do.
has helped your career.
I
So,
hope so. I don't know if I'm going to step out of journalism yet, but right now it's an interesting ride.
mhm. So other things that you do is you have dog walking and you yourself have dogs. And I really wish that the webcam was working so that we could see them. And I'm pretty sure our guild officer would squeal over them.
I could probably send photos later. Um, right now, okay, so I bought a new dog bed yesterday,
Okay.
and it's pretty big. I have four small dogs. The biggest one I have is a terrier corgi mix. But right now, the one who's using the dog bed is my smallest one, and it looks like it's engulfing her.
It must still look adorable.
Oh, she's out. She is so out. It's. I wish my webcam was working too, but
Yeah.
yeah.
So another thing that you're involved in, and I tried to check it out earlier, but unfortunately, there was a process to get in, and I didn't have the time. That's my own fault. Tell us about what you do on Anchor.
Oh, okay. So that is a new project that I started in the middle of the pandemic when we were brainstorming about content to push out that had nothing to do with COVID.
Okay.
It was it is a podcast that I run, and I have one of my other staff writers who's incredible. She used to be an actress. I think she does coaching now. But the two of us run this podcast, and it's basically reading excerpts from local authors in the area. So I've reached out to a lot of the published authors in Sacramento, which is where I live,
Mm-hmm.
and in Elk Grove. And it's been amazing the amount of feedback I've gotten. Um, Word of mouth is an amazing form of advertisement because after I did a few podcast episodes of the local authors, it just spread like wildfire. And my staff writer is an extreme socialite. She says she's not, but I'm like, no, you know people a lot better than I do. She's been incredible in getting more authors to come and offer us their works. So, some of the stories we've covered in my podcast include this woman and her family of Japanese descent and their experiences with being kicked out of their home. Again, this is local, this is in my town. I know exactly what area she's talking about. Being kicked out from their home and sent to Fresno, and then I think to Tennessee to internment camps. And that we released that during um, the trending, stop Asian hate hashtag that was going through social media, and that really kind of put us on the map for the podcast.
That's one way to do it. I hope you yourself have not been the target of such injustice.
I mean, probably. I probably just haven't caught it. My boss definitely has. My boss is Chinese, just like I am. Um, and she's told us stories about being stopped at in front of a clothing store and being told to go back to China. And,
Mm.
it happens.
Yeah, well, hopefully it doesn't happen again. So, if
Hopefully.
someone was to look for your content on Anchor, what would they search for?
It is called EGT Reads, which is short for Elk Grove Tribune, which is the paper I write for.
Okay.
There's about, I want to say, 8 or 9 episodes. There should have been one additional episode, but last week I got swamped with work and family life. But that new episode should be coming out soon. And again, it's staying on sort of the Asian Pacific Islander theme. The next
Okay.
episode is about a book called Kanaka, which is apparently a racial slur against Hawaiians, and it's about kind of like a bibliography of a resident's father and his life in Hawaii and then moving to the mainland.
Hmm.
But yeah,
Well,
I get to read some interesting material.
I can imagine in your line of work. Well, hopefully your podcast continues to thrive and inform people and is well received.
I hope so. It's been an interesting thing to do. I never thought I would do a podcast, but here I am.
Okay. Well, that is still barely scratching the surface of what you do.
Oh
You are
God.
also you also have a channel on YouTube,
Very small
and
one. Just started it.
it is Ephemeris Gaming, where you post clips of your time playing Grand Theft Auto 5 on a role-playing server of all things. And
Mm-hmm.
here is your channel. Right now there are 3 videos. By the way, folks, feel free to check out the second video there if you would like a fun little look into consent, as I'm
God.
sure there was just a whole bunch of accidental button pushes there.
Tons. That was, I think, as the clip probably says, it was like our first couple of days into GTA RP, and all of that was not scripted at all. It was totally improvised. But like looking back on it, I was like, you know what? That actually is a very good way to explain consent to somebody.
And I also had the fun looking at one of the videos where it seemed like the 3 of you caught on to a hell of a bug where one of you were hurt and they were in the hospital, and you took him out from the trunk of a car, put him on the hospital bed, and he was stuck in that position, bouncing around. It was. It's like,
Use
did
a
you re?
splash.
Did yeah? He was a Magikarp using Splash, which I thought was pretty funny.
It's
Have you? Yeah. Did you report that, by the way? Because that could not have been intentional.
I don't think we reported it, but I haven't seen it happen since then.
Okay.
So I'm guessing they fixed it. But oh my god, it was hilarious. I remember that night I was dying.
So
Uh,
check out Ephemeris Gaming on YouTube to see what we're talking about. And
those are where our clips go. But if you really want to see more content, you want to check out my Twitch channel.
so we have you as a Twitch content provider at Zen underscore Ona 916. Links will be on in the description for when I upload this to YouTube.
And I don't
You
just play Grand Theft Auto. So
second.
I don't just play Grand Theft Auto. Thank
You
goodness.
also play Overwatch and what else?
So back when World of Warcraft still had some content, I was streaming that as well. Um,
Wait, this game has content? Did I miss the patch?
yeah,
Did I miss the patch?
I doubt it. I'm pretty sure we wouldn't be here talking if the patch was launched.
Something to do.
I know, right? Meanwhile, you're in Final Fantasy chugging away.
They have
But
stuff to do.
I know. What other games do I play on my Twitch? Oh, Phasmophobia.
Can't say I've heard of that one.
You haven't really?
I have not.
Okay, you know the premise of the Ghost Adventure shows?
Big wait, Ghost Adventure show. Oh,
Like
it's like
any
the
any ghost hunting,
paranormal, like the
yeah, like
paranormal.
any
Okay.
ghost hunting show.
Yeah, where they sit there, they go and they go with the green light, and they have the devices to track paranormal sounds, and they
Yeah,
try
so
to.
like they have like an EMF reader, a spirit
Yeah, I got that.
box,
Yeah.
things like that. That is the premise of Phasmophobia. You are a group of four people, and you go into like this supposedly haunted place, but it's not supposedly. The ghosts are there, and they will kill you.
Fun.
And I am apparently a very entertaining to watch when I play that game because I scream. And yeah, I need to find that clip that has earned me fame among my circle of friends. I need to upload it to YouTube and
Oh,
link it.
absolutely.
Oh
So
my god.
one final thing, considering you, every time you stream or every time I've caught one of your streams, you do it with other people, where it's your husband or Hell Crescent or any others. Apologies if I can't remember all your friends' names. And then your YouTube is actually called Ephemeris Gaming. Now, is that the brand that you're trying to establish? Is that your group of friends?
That is a group of friends. It's just the three of us. It's me and Hell Crescent, and my husband Axiom Kino or Kino. Um, it's basically just where all three of our clips will go. If
Okay.
somehow that YouTube channel takes off, we might diverge and make our own specific channels, but for now it's just the three of us, which is fine. Axiom Kino is on Twitch. It's just Axiom and then Kino and then Hell Crescent, which should I think it's self-explanatory to spell.
Okay.
Um
So
Axiom Kino,
they also
sorry,
stream.
yes, they both stream.
Okay.
Axiom Kino does a majority of Grand Theft Auto, although he also does some Overwatch with me. Um, Hell Crescent, on the other hand, while he does Grand Theft Auto RP with us, he is known for his extremely good skills in card games. Um, I actually want you to meet him at some point so you both can talk about card games and nerd out.
Absolutely. Bring them on the
He's
show.
won tournaments. Yeah, he's won tournaments. Um, and he used to have a very big player base of viewers when he was doing card game streams.
Okay. So, folks, we covered a lot, and there is so much more we can cover because there is just that much to this woman. Zenurie, I thank you very dearly for agreeing to do this. Thank you for your time, the stories, for all you do. And I hope that even though there's not much these days, that in the future, when we eventually get content, that you will be able to spare a moment or two to enjoy it with us for then and more years to come.
Definitely. I am here to stick around, Joey. We've been friends for far too long for me to disappear.
That we have. So, folks, this is the incredible Jen Zenurie, healer, journalist, dog walker, podcaster, teacher of consent iser, and many more. And I am your host, the Bronx Paladin. Thank you for spending time with us on the Universal Order Show. And until next time.